Welcome back to the Getting Results Inc. podcast. My name is Coach Gino. Alongside is Super Coach, Coach Ken. Super Coach, how goes it?
Goes well, Gino. We continue to protect America for capitalism. I was actually took a boat ride last night to an island where we had a smoker, so hence my voice a little rough today. So a cigar event with fellow business owners, etc., on an island, beautiful evening, full moon, and I was sharing with everyone the power of Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. So spreading the word. If you have all our loyal listeners out there, if you haven't read Fountainhead by Ayn Rand yet, you're missing out. Please do. It's a lesson in ruthless integrity. Try that one on for a couple days. Ruthless integrity.
Should be mandatory reading for all.
No doubt. Ayn Rand should be a mandatory reading in high school, and so we can help people figure out how capitalism actually works, and it's not about free stuff or being a victim.
That's right. That's right. And hey, SSYF. SSYF. Again, if you don't know what SSYF is, just drop us a note. We'll tell you what SSYF is if you haven't seen any of our posts or anything like that. So,
Sweet Sassy's Young Free, yearly free.
I guess you could make
sailing ships, yodel fast.
Yes.
All right, anyway,
this is not easy.
Since I'm dressed serious, let's be serious today.
Yeah, no doubt, Super Coach. So, Super Coach, what do you want to talk about today? What do you think?
Let's talk about how does one create a catalyst for their business.
Ooh.
So, like, how do you actually grow your business? Or maybe your business is a little stuck, or maybe you're stuck. And I bet you're going to expect me to say, well, you need to do more. You need to do more dials, more calls, more appointments, because you're being lazy. You know you could do more. Every day's a Super Bowl. Every day you have to give 110%. Because if you're listening to this right now, you may be wondering, am I giving 110% today? Well, the answer is no. And you might be quite surprised. The fast lesson in growing your business will have absolutely nothing to do with your business.
Say more about that. That sounds interesting. Now you got my attention, Super Coach.
All right. So you want to grow your business. All right. We got to. So if we want to grow your business, we have to grow you. You can't be bigger than your money. You can't be bigger than your business. Right. So your business is a reflection of you. And you may be wondering why you're stuck, or you're not hitting the numbers that you want to do, or why your business is sort of flatlined, or maybe even why you're kind of bored. Maybe you've been in the business 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and you make a lot of money. I don't know, however you define that. Right. And as you know, if you make a lot of money, you suddenly realize there's always a lot more to make. Like, one of the funnest jokes I tell all my buddies is, I've never felt so poor until I moved into the rich neighborhood. So there's always opportunity. Okay, once again, all right, so we want to grow your business. So you want to grow your business, but it's not about your business. It's about you. Like, what can this be? Well, there's an interesting phenomena out there. Right? There's an interesting phenomena, and it's called time. Okay? Many people would like to have more time, or you probably have more time than you need already, and you're wasting the majority of it, but that's okay. That's not the essence of this particular conversation. So sometimes people say, well, if I had another 24 hours in a day, then I'd be able to grow the business. Or an extra day in the week, then I'd be able to grow the business. Yada, yada, yada. But here's the answer to grow your business. Challenge yourself. Go run a marathon. Right? Run a marathon. Take up sewing. Take up something that's going to push yourself. Take up something that's going to take time, that's going to force you to prioritize your life. Like, screw running a marathon, run an ultra. Okay? Challenge yourself. Right? Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to get up at 4 a.m. to run when you usually get up at 7 to go into the office by 9. There's an old saying is that if you truly want something done, give the task to someone who is busy or who is up to stuff. You see, a fascinating thing about successful people get a lot of stuff done. You have to be up to stuff. Now, here's the coaching tip, or here's why this magic works. When you have time scarcity, when you're getting up early, when you're training for something, it provides an organizing principle, right? You are actually constraining time. When you constrain time, that forces you to discern about what's important, right? It forces you to discern, because most things are not important. When you have a lot of time, when you're not training for anything, or when you're not up to anything, you have an excess amount of time, otherwise known as the devil's workshop.
Mm.
Now, like, how can it be? Why is an idle mind the devil's workshop? Well, it's very easy. The simple answer is you're easily distracted. It's easily to get pulled down in many different rabbit holes and tunnels. And it's also easy not to discern and not to do what is most important, because you can do it later. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes, question. It brings to mind a story that you wrote about with the demon and the bamboo pole. Kind of, to me, ties into that a little bit as well, right?
And that's a beautiful story too.
I love that story.
Concept.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because remember, the mind wants to be entertained. But once again, if you're training for something, if you're up to something, you are forced to discern.
It's that too, Supercoach. And then also to be able to, when you're up to something, especially if it's a challenge like an ultra or whatever it might be, lose 100 pounds, whatever your challenge is, right? It requires discipline. It requires commitment. It requires you to continue to repeat over and over again, which that is the main reason why it pours into your business, that discipline, right? It's that consistency.
And the discipline is not constrained to the realm. So what that simply means, if you're disciplined and you're getting up early in the morning and you're working the discipline and you're doing the uncomfortable things consistently, that skill set then pours over into your other relationships, into your business, etc. That's why when you're around people who are up to stuff, they're more magnetic, they're more attractive. There's the natural pull. Like, once again, to that event that I went to last night was actually a fundraiser for buying Christmas presents for underprivileged kids.
Cool.
And the guy who runs it I believe, is literally doing God's work. Right? And then when you're around someone who is literally doing God's work, I felt the pull. Okay, how else can I help him? How else can I create space for him? Or I'm also, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my God, this dude's a holy man, right? We're playing a level of saint level here, or at least a preparation of saints, practice being a saint, if you will. And then when someone is like that, there's a natural draw, a natural attraction. There's like, wow. Just like if you meet someone who did an Ironman, right? There's or was training for an Ironman. They're up to stuff. I think a great example is one of our coaches, Coach John, did SEAL Fit. I think we've talked about that in the past. But Johnny trained for SEAL Fit for 6 or 7 months ahead of time. And by his training for that, his business took to another level. And since now that he accomplished SEALs Fit and he got the confirmation that he can do it, he's training for another thing called, what's he up to? Hydrox, or whatever that is. Run around, lift things.
Something that's pretty big.
But the cool part about it is that confidence and discipline is poured over into his business. He's now hired staff because of it. He's met $20 million clients. He is now breaking into the whole niche of other nutty people who do SEAL Fit, like high endurance level athletes. This whole idea of niche weird. So sometimes people say this thing about work-life balance and all of this stuff. The hard truth is there's no such thing as work-life balance. There's just life. But the more that you live life on purpose and by design, the more it provides a feedback loop to you to pull you more down that particular path.
And it's almost impossible to fight the pull of that, right? Like when you all of a sudden you get into a workout routine, you're doing week after week, day after day, like you're sticking to that and you keep doing it. And then you get to work. It's impossible not to still bring that discipline and that work to your business. Like try to do it. It's like unnatural. Like you just can't fight that. It's like it's almost like there's that, like you just said, that pull, that grab. There's like something in the universe that can't have you do otherwise. Like it's like it's a big miss for people to not be up to something outside of business, because you're missing out on the beautiful pull, the flow of something, the energy that just takes it into the rest of your world. It's pretty awesome.
Spot on. Spot on. We talk sometimes about the idea of purpose, like if we go to the 4 stages of a financial advisor's practice, at the highest level, or how do you get elite producers to perform at an even elitier level, we bring up this concept of purpose. But I want to hopefully bring the concept of purpose down to a level that all of us can understand and play with and leverage for ourselves. The hard truth is that there is no purpose to purpose other than purpose itself, because purpose becomes a thread that weaves our existence together so that it makes sense for you. Right? And that's the powerful thing, so that it makes sense. There's a level of cohesion and understanding. So if you're training for a race or a run or a show, whatever that is, that's called purpose. Things make sense, right? Things weave together, and a certain series of events happens that makes sense for the individual. Like currently, I don't know when you're going to see or hear this podcast, but as you can see by the Christmas deer behind me, it's Christmas season, right? Christmas, right? We all know Christmas happens on December 25th. Okay, so that means before December 25th, think of purpose, Christmas holiday. Gifts are being bought, decorations are being up. Thanksgiving just happened. Then you decorate for Christmas, you get the tree. Notice how Christmas begins to design into a certain way of being, of activities, of Christmas parties, the Yule log, midnight mass, whatever your traditions are, they're all set off by Christmas. Okay. Not one of us has a Christmas tree in March. Well, why not? We can have Christmas trees all the time if we wanted to. Spot on. It's America. But no one does. What? Like, why is that? Well, because Christmas trees happen in December. So it's the same idea for all. So within our businesses, to get that slight edge, to get that benefit of discernment, it's that outside activity or energy going in a particular direction that helps self-organize. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Ken, no, I don't want to do that. I just really want to grow my business. So I'm going to double down on activity or sales or do more seminars, etc. Awesome. That will work, but you have to ask a very hard question. Are you actually willing to do it? And how excited are you to do seminars? But if you're really excited about doing a paddleboard race, I don't know, I'm just sorry, I'm in the athletic race mindset here. That becomes then that self-organizing principle. Just like doubling your seminars becomes a self-organizing principle. But the hard part about that, are you willing to do it? Now, then some of you say, of course, I'm willing to do it. Next question is, will you do it? And if the answer is no, which is totally okay, right? This is not a judgment thing. This is how do you leverage yourself for greater levels of performance. And a trick or a hack, if you will, is the outside activity, or the thing outside of your business that requires attention, that requires discipline, that requires movement, that will then pour over into every other aspect of your being.
It also separates you from the business to get more, like we like to always say, new inputs get new outputs. And when you're doing that discipline of whatever that is, it typically can create some new inputs that you can then put into place at work. And to what we also see in a lot of clients is they tie in that challenge to their business, right? Like,
that's running,
doing a 5K race that now raises money. What you just said with that group that's now raising money for charity and for kids that don't have a whole lot, but these things grow so many different areas, right? Like, and I think Rob Wallace was another example of someone who took up running, and now all of a sudden his business is going great. He's he's doing all this great stuff, and his runs are getting longer and harder and all that stuff. It's amazing how much he's expanded since he started running as well.
Right? And I think a great example of this, if you need outside examples, is Cameron Hanes, the book that Cameron Hanes, the elk hunter. He's got obviously nothing to do with financial services. Not necessarily, he is a capitalist, but he's not your traditional business owner. He's a dude who has dedicated his life to hunting elk. That's his purpose. There is no other purpose other than that. But it's fascinating by his dedication to that, of all the side effects and all the other impacts that's had. And more than likely, he is a multi-millionaire because he hunts elk. Right? And that became the singular purpose of his life. Not about making money, about hunting elk, but being so singularly focused on hunting elk, he's made millions of dollars. Well, I'm assuming he has.
Well, he's sold a lot of books, I'm sure. And then he's got all these sponsors, right, that want to use his name on their equipment and all that stuff. So yeah, he's probably making a few bucks.
Yeah, he's making a few bucks. Right. But is that commitment to elk hunting poured over into everything else that he does?
Yeah.
It's a great example. Way leads on to way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you listen to some of our other stuff before in the past, sometimes I'll talk about complex systems. Complex systems need a catalyst to evolve to their next level of complexity. You are a complex system. Your business is a complex system. Okay. So if you're true to yourself and you say, whatever your level of business is at, you're at $1 million in production, you're $2 million in production, wherever that number is. And if I say, okay, you're at $2 million in production, our next target is to hit 3 million. And if you feel inside of you, if you feel that like, yes, like you feel that like, wow, like you just feel you feel the pull, you feel the drive, you feel that level of excitement. Awesome. Right? That means you're going to get there. Now, once again, look at that, touch that level of excitement. Is it because you're supposed to hit the production because you don't want to lose rank, or is it an ego conversation, or is there a real drive and fulfillment that you're really excited from going from 2 to 3, from 2 million to 3 million? Okay. If you don't feel the pull of excitement, but yet you still want to get to $3 million in production, this is the place where we look for that. All right, let's go do that Ironman. Let's go figure out how to do the Baja 1000. Whatever that next, or go build a house. Maybe that's not a good idea, but build a house by yourself, right? Right? Because then that, strangely enough, that will become the catalyst or begin to open the doors to show you how to get to 3 million. Because once again, you're a complex system. Complex systems need new catalysts to evolve to their next level of complexity. If you're truly not committed to hitting $3 million in production, you want to, it's not a consistent enough catalyst for you to take actions necessary, right? Like literally, it takes time for rice to cook. And the longer you have the flame underneath the pot, the better the rice cooks. So you're looking for that flame of excitement, of change, of engagement, etc.
And Super Coach, I'd say that in going back to the priority tree, right? The number one person on the priority tree is you, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So I would say if you can challenge yourself in one of those key areas, so it doesn't have to be go lift a mountain. It could be, could you sit for hours in stillness and build up to that? And that could be a pretty big challenge that could shift what you're doing in your business as well in a big way. So it doesn't have to be always running an ultra or whatever. Can you get more involved in your spirituality? Can you work on your mental toughness in other ways, or mental stability, whatever that might be, whether it's meditation, yoga, whatever that is. So I think it's important to know that there's different ways to challenge yourself to expand and grow yourself.
Yeah, spot on. Perhaps it's becoming a deacon in your church.
There you go.
Or doing an active Bible study.
Mission.
Or do mission work, or sponsor mission work. All of those little things add up and create that catalyst. And once again, because it's slight edges produce exponential rates of return. And many times the slight edge has got nothing to do with the business, if you will.
Yep.
Sometimes it does, and you can make it that way. But there's just always this wonderful thing about being honest and telling the truth. Because the more that you tell the truth, the more then you will then be free and deal with reality as it is, instead of dealing with reality as you pretend it to be.
All right. So, Super Coach, let's say someone's listening saying, well, what do I do? What do I come up with? So how do they attack this? Like, hey, I want to expand myself. What do they need to do, do you think? How would you
I think it becomes that inner conversation of, all right, what is that thing that's going to call you forth? What is that thing that you feel you either need to do, want to do, or choose to do, right? It's that level of excitement. Now, if all that stuff is there's nothing there, or you're either overwhelmed or just burnt out, or just you don't know, then it's always a good idea to talk to someone who can help you.
Yeah.
Which obviously we're going to sponsor ourselves, right? Obviously it's going to be us. So, I mean, yes, you can talk to your spouse, and yes, you can talk to your whatever they're called these days, your fearless leaders out there. But always remember, your fearless leaders have an agenda. Right? So if you work for any sort of organization, the organization has an agenda, and the organization will always do what's in the organization's best interest first. Sometimes that's in alignment with you, sometimes it's not. And it's just be mindful of that.
Yeah, and also we do this daily, weekly, monthly for years with lots of clients. We're pretty good at pulling out what helping people get there around this, and I think we can count on many hands the number of people that have grown their business as a result of taking on a challenge, purpose, whatever that is, whatever lights them up, and finding it, seeking it, and getting making friends with it, and then taking it to the whole other level, right? And it's pretty amazing to see in action. So if you're in a place where you're stuck, or you don't feel like you know what that pull is, we can help. We're happy to be of service with that, for sure.
Or simply go explore it.
Yeah.
Right? Explore. The magic happens if you're consistent and you're disciplined, and it's going to happen over time. Right? So if you're thinking this is hey, this weekend I'm going to go climb my local mountain, that's going to be really challenging. Yes, it will be. But the results you will get from that will be relatively minimal.
Right.
Now, if you said you're going to climb that mountain every day or every weekend for the next 2 years, interesting, right? That could be interesting.
Yeah.
Because climbing that mountain every weekend for the next 2 years will not be that easy. And there's a good chance you're going to fail, and you're not going to do it every weekend. And those become interesting points of learning, especially when you begin to ask yourself, why are you climbing this mountain?
Yes.
Why am I here?
The why. What's the why behind it? Yep.
Right. Why am I here? What is the point of all this? Once again, I don't know. You have to experience that yourself. But the revelation will not be revealed to you from one time up the mountain.
Yeah.
You'll probably get it revealed to you in the 56th, the 187th, or maybe the 996th. And that's when the real wisdom will happen. But you have the perseverance to continue that path.
And that's where I think it's important to figure out whatever it is you choose the endeavor you choose to take on. Is it a nice to, or is it a, hey, I want to do this. Like, this is calling to me. Like, this is something that I'm being pulled to, right? When you really want to do it, that's really kind of the key to know that that's the right thing to put your commitment into. If it's a nice to, or it sounds cool, probably not going to happen. Maybe, might not. But when you can get to, I want to do that, I can see the why behind that, and that's going to challenge me, then you're on to something.
Awesome. Once again, it doesn't have to be physical. It can be spiritual, mental, or go buy a house in Park City. Stop.
That's the end.
Remember, you can't be bigger than your business. Yeah.
Maybe I'll
think there's a simple thing. I think perhaps it's pain before pleasure.
Okay.
Pain before pleasure.
Good pain, yeah.
Because your pain before good pain before pleasure. However you want to spin that one. Whatever you're doing, if it's pleasurable first, it's probably not that good.
Yep. I would say no matter what it is you do take on, make sure that there's structure, because structure sets you free. So whatever it is, if you have the proper structure set up, you can make it happen.
Correct. Well, really, to wrap this up, I guess here's the bigger thing. I should have mentioned this in the beginning. Don't be boring. Right? Your business is boring because you're boring. It's really simple. If your business is flat, or it's not going to where you want it to, or it's whatever, you're stuck. You can't get over 2 million in production. It's because you're boring.
There it is. That's not nice. Right there between your eyes. Tell the truth.
I know that's not nice, but it's true. You're boring. You're doing the same stuff.
Yeah. Let's be clear. What do you mean by you're boring?
Boring. You probably have a blue blazer like this one, although I have a tan one. You wear your blue blazer all the time. You eat at the same restaurants. You go the same way to work.
Going through the motions.
You're not going through the motions, but you're sort of just doing the same. You're boring. Once again, I know that's not nice. We're not supposed to be nice. We're supposed to tell the truth. Like, once again, complex systems reach a certain level of equilibrium. Okay, so boredom would be a certain level of equilibrium.
Yeah.
If you would like to get to the next level of complexity, you need a catalyst. Catalyst can be you hire a new staff member, or you fire your staff, or you get a partner, or you fire your partner, or you run a marathon, or you begin to take a CrossFit class. These are all catalysts to get the system to evolve to another level of complexity. The bigger the catalyst, the greater the probability of the evolution of the system, or the system itself reaches an entirely different level of complexity.
Yeah.
Okay. Or simple projects. If you can run a 5K, that's awesome. It doesn't take a lot of preparation. Okay. That's one level of complexity. You run a 100-mile race, that is a completely different level of complexity. Okay. So now if we reverse engineer that, can someone who runs a 5K run a 100-mile race? Without training, no, I just do 5Ks. Could they do it? No. Okay. How about this one? The person who does 100-mile races, could they run 5K races?
Yeah, 20 times.
All the time. All right. And they could also do 10Ks, 15Ks, 50Ks. Like, by that level of training, they have so much more capacity to them than someone who just trains for 5Ks. Right? Or, different analogy, you want to play high school football or professional football? What level do you want to play at? You want to be captain of the varsity squad, or do you want to be an all-pro? Guess what? If you want to be an all-pro, that's an entirely different level of training and commitment, etc. Like, once again, what level do you want to play at? Once again, don't be boring.
Yep. I also think on that boring thing is when you see someone who's up to something, they clearly don't look boring at all, and
they're great.
They suck you in and they get you all like riled up, like, oh man, infection. You get infected by it, right? You're like, oh man, I want that. I want some of that. I got to go do something.
Yeah, right? Someone who's playing big, someone who's up to something, like someone who's training for sainthood makes you wonder, like, what am I doing? I think I may need to set up my game here, or step up the game, or how could I be more like that?
Yep.
Right. Absolutely. In the famous words of one of our clients, your circle is your ceiling. Your circle is your ceiling.
Beautiful.
Don't be boring.
Don't be boring. You want to grow your business? Grow you.
There you go. That's even better.
I think that's very simple right there, right? You want to grow your business?
Grow you. Grow you.
And we can help you with that if you're not sure how to do that, or you feel challenged with that and you've had starts and stops. Let us be of service to you. We can help you with that. So, Super Coach, any last words before we close out?
Any last words before we close out?
How's the fight on capitalism? Are we winning the battle?
Are we winning the battle? I think we're taking ground. I saw some wonderful news about Europe the other day and how they embraced windmills and all that other silly stuff, and by fiat or by rule instead of by choice. And guess what's happening? It's blowing up. Doesn't work. Central planning never works. No one is that smart. No one knows what is best for you other than you. America.
There you go. I think that's a great way to close it out, for sure. America.
America.
All right. Thanks, Super Coach. All right. To our listeners, if you enjoyed today's podcast, please make sure you follow us. Forward this podcast to a peer, a friend, family member. Share it to the world. We can be found on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and our website, gettingresultsinc.com. Until our next episode, be great.